Alexa. Alexa. Order hot pot. Bucket of Sichuan spice flying in 3, 2, 1.
We are not here. Peter,
Emily.
And before we get started, hit down there, subscribe, hit the thumbs up, because this is the most highly produced show in all of China. We aren't just some hobos standing around on the streets. We have that footage. Play the footage.
Hobo is one of my favorite words. I know it's not politically correct, but it's good.
And today we're going to talk about the end of this flesh circus that we call humanity.
The singularity is near, and it's AI.
Yeah, so we hear on the net, on the hive mind, that you've been questioning your betters and asking about robots. Why?
I'm always interested in robots. I love robots. Robots were our future saviors until they became scary.
Your C-3POs, your R2-D2s.
Yeah. When we could treat them like servants, we were like
cans.
way into it. And then
I guess R2-D2 was always smarter than us. But C-3PO was the fool, so we could make fun of him.
Yeah, and if you make him cute and whistly, like, it doesn't seem threatening.
But in real life, the whistle means death.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're cutifying something that has outthought you and outthought its need for you, it doesn't matter that it's cute.
So are you worried about...
You're still gonna get Ultroned.
Are you worried about the mass dancing competitions of, like, where there's hundreds of robots in Chinese gala?
No, robots exploring the arts, I would love to see. It's just robots taking pictures of your faces and reporting on you to local law enforcement I find troublesome.
Yeah? Even if they're doing it for your own good?
It's a fraught phrase.
Fraught? With what?
Well, that's what any patrician authoritarian state justifies its actions with. It's for your own good.
Yeah.
It can't all be for my own good. When do I decide what's for my own good?
When they dance for you?
I guess. Well, that's like if a robot, I don't know, decided I needed to make more paper clips because that would be good for me. Like, what value system is that?
So here in China, there are old folks' homes where they're putting little robots that go into the old, like we do with, like, pets and stuff like that and children.
Well, that seems like it's from the 90s.
It could be.
Well, that's like,
robots aren't new.
`𝗖𝗵ecie was the first robot dog I remember in the 90s. Or maybe not the first robot dog. There's Astro from the Jetsons. But it was a big deal. Maybe it was like the first affordable robot dog that acted like a robot dog.
Yeah.
Would. I don't know how we decided what the standard of behavior was for a robot dog, but we had. And `𝗖𝗵ecie did it.
This gold standard of robot dog.
Yeah.
And you were comfortable with that?
I wanted one. Mm-hmm. They were consumer affordable, but not for a teenager. And I also wanted a Tamagotchi, both of which I read about in Wired. And I didn't get one of those either.
Mm-hmm.
But
so because you were not given robots as a child, now you're unleashing this power on the world.
Yeah. The power of desiring robots.
And the truth comes out as to why you moved to China.
Yeah. Yeah, where's our robot? Are you a robot? You might be a robot.
There's robots all throughout the streets.
Yeah, that's the thing about China. They don't tell you. It's all robots. It's a big... China doesn't exist. It's just robots to full satellite imagery.
Well, that's robot racist. So... I think what you're trying to say is that you feel safe on the streets here in China.
Not because of robots, though.
No?
More because of, low crime, which has nothing to do with
We have robot police. How are they doing?
Do we have robot police?
I don't know.
I don't think we do.
We do in the mall.
That's not a police. That's a Dalek. That's a Doctor Who.
Weren't they police? The Daleks?
No, they were bad guys. I mean, maybe they were an authoritarian nightmare, but I think they were just hell-bent on destruction. It's not that deep. It just went
Is that the problem
exterminate. They have no other directive.
Were they programmed to by
Destroy?
some kind of government to destroy? They didn't.
I think
this was Chopping Mall.
And now
this wasn't like.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Doctor Who is a show for kids. It's a show for kids. So the morality wasn't all that complex. The bad guy was programmed to destroy you, so you had to destroy it. And I might be wrong. They may not be robots. They may be just like an alien life form that seems robotic to us.
So like small people that were put into.
Well, that's very humanonormative of you. I don't think they were people, but they were. Well, now I'm just making it up because I don't know. I only watched the Christopher Eccleston. Eccleston.
We're far into fan fiction now.
Yeah, as in my fan fiction. No, but I think this is true that Daleks aren't robots. They are an alien life form. And what makes a robot a robot?
When they take care of your bank. We got lots of robots.
What do you mean, take care of your bank?
Take care of the bank.
I think you're confusing your terminology here. Programs aren't robots.
No, they actually have to have servos.
Well, now I don't know, but like WeChat's not a robot. That's an app.
But they're
Super Mario's not a robot. It's a game.
What about all those 80s movies when like all the little digital pixels came into your screen and said like, come on, we are going to do things to you?
Well, I guess that's the difference. I would say maybe robot has to have some mechanical housing that it can move on its own, whereas artificial intelligence could just live into your computer and ask you, would you like to play a game?
So like robot drones that the military's building to make Iron Men to fly over our cities and protect us.
Is Tony a robot?
But he talks to his robots.
Oh, now I wish I had looked it up before.
You didn't do any research about...
I thought like 40 years of being a nerd was research enough, but I realized I do not know the very basic definition of a robot.
So...
but AI is different from a robot, I can tell you that.
Robots or robots?
Robots, of course. So I actually looked it up, the difference, or what the actual definition is of robots. And it turns out there's not one.
Why can't women ride in taxis anymore in China?
Because we have no butts. Some people think they have to be humanoid to separate them from machines.
5 great things about being in China. Number 1, us being... Hello.
But the main disagreement is if a robot makes decisions. And furthermore, thinks.
Getting pictures of bone machines?
Dreaming of Hollywood stardom.
Number 2, us talking about China.
Can you make a decision without thinking? I certainly can.
As the preeminent China vlogger who knows the most about the entire country, why are women not allowed in Chinese taxis anymore?
Well, according to the article I read, it was DD drivers. separate branch of study from AI.
Hobo. So what can they do if they can't take a taxi?
Well, they need a man to go with them. After 9, they can do it in the daytime. Because violence against women never happens in the daytime. Or they could take a robot DD. Because robots don't beat anyone up. My theory is robots were meant to take over our menial labor, and AI is meant to overthrow our most powerful structures.
Do you ever think of maybe getting a robot to help you do this kind of work? A word processor or something?
I specifically rejected it because I like to write things by hand.
What's the difference between a taxi and a DD?
About 12 cents.
In China, we always eat Chinese food. I've never heard of a sandwich or a hamburger. Will women use the DDs as sex toys?
You don't think they have better options?
Like real drivers? We're trapped in a Chinese Autobot.
This one's name is Otis.
On today's global platform, do you prefer Chinese robots or regular robots?
Can I buy the irregular one for half off?
Yes, in Shenzhen.
Reading robot. But I'm no roboticist.
Number 3 greatest thing about China, hobo. So are we talking how they interface, or are they completely separate worries? Like the robot at your bank machine.
Well, is the AI telling you what it's doing less scary or more scary than an AI that's not telling you what it's doing? Like a teenager. When they're quiet, that's when you have to be worried.
So
they're setting rockets off in the backyard.
So the teenager that would usually be at the grocery store taking your cash at the register now is a robot. Who's more dangerous? The sociopathic teenager who is going to go listen to Linkin Park, or
does the robot go smoke pot behind the dumpster?
Smoke something else?
And I feel like there is an answer somewhere
There has to
in
be.
Sci-fi. What drugs do robots
Some
do?
kind of Johnny Mnemonic.
And it's petroleum based.
Oh, the Matrix, isn't that they're siphoning us off our blood essence?
But not for
Dark Crystal
not
style?
For drugs. I thought that was for just like
Yeah, but what are drugs though?
energy. No, the energy source and drugs are not the same thing. Otherwise, we wouldn't make a distinction between uppers and downers.
Well, what about, old people? What are they fueled on?
Hate.
Hate and drugs.
No, actually, the old people.
The grannies out in the street just rampant and.
They're fueled on blankets, apparently. If the old people we see walking around outside are any.
And they're trying to feed it to the babies.
Yeah.
Babies are just old people in waiting.
That's so profound.
There's firefighters in Beijing that are all robots. They were tested.
Everybody loves a
There's
robot that
18
does
of them
it.
that put out a building, and they all look like this.
They do this dance at the fire.
Yeah, all around. It looked like a spider belly up going. Burp, 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 burp.
And they discovered some kind of magic, that the resonant force of fire.
No, they shot water out of the hose.
Oh, that's their arms are just going.
Well, not like hoses. They're like
more controlled.
Yeah, they're like metal arms, like with joints.
And that
surrounded.
seems practical, but
Right.
you got to admit
that would be
more
that would just
fun.
be one of those summer lawn. We got one of those firehouses in Beijing that just sprays water all over the city.
endearing the robots to the children before they kill. No, I mean that's the safest application of robots is like they go and do dangerous jobs that humans don't want to do.
The bomb retrievers and drones.
Yeah.
So what about all the drones that are out there now? I mean, they don't have AI in them, but are they being robots?
I mean, ethically, that's to equip an AI to kill that's again, science fiction has an answer for that, and it's not a good one.
Do you think like a plane, you need a license to we want to shoot some footage of the Luzhou sky? Should we get a license for that to fly a drone, rent a drone? Should the police know about what we're doing?
I don't know about the laws in our area. We don't have a drone.
Oh, should we? Would you want us to?
Should we have a drone?
Yeah, should we have a drone? And should we be monitored for it?
I mean, there's always going to be people who say yes, and then there's going to be people who say, this takes away my rights to drones.
Well, I'm asking what I mean, if our neighbor had a drone, would you trust our neighbor?
Our neighbor has a chicken, and that's going okay.
That chicken could be a drone. 6 o'clock in the morning, checking us out. Yeah. I mean, if drones... I once in New York City, in Queens, had a helicopter. I was only on the 3rd floor. Mm-hmm. A helicopter, police helicopter, came down in my little courtyard and just like sat.
Like you're making this movement like the helicopter was this big.
It was, if I
so I'm
because of
a toy little helicopter, but it was like a real helicopter.
Yeah. From perspective, I guess I could have fit it in my hand, but in real life, it was a real helicopter. Police, like one of those little two little mosquito helicopters that kind of
helicopters
that came down, the choppers. I sat in my back courtyard, hovering at the 3rd floor,
and like looked in your window.
Yeah, I waved.
That's so weird. That's creepy.
Yeah, and those were not robots.
Those were real New York City cops?
Yeah. Cagney and Lacey, whoever they were.
Are Cagney and Lacey from New York?
Probably not. But
I think they're from Florida.
But should they be able to do that right now?
No, they shouldn't have been able to do that then.
Yeah. But
that's why I live on the 28th floor, so no one can peek in my window and I can grab stuff off the balcony naked when I forgot to get my towel before I take a shower.
Like all your little basil plants, scattering them across.
I'll do my basil plants. Don't look! I forgot my towel.
Is that basil that you have in there? Comply.
Yeah. I mean... Are they looking for plants? Is that what helicopter cops are doing?
I don't know. But so in New York City, I had real cops doing it.
And you were growing real
weed?
I
was growing absolutely nothing.
Wait, you weren't growing anything?
No, not even me.
Not even roses?
I had stinted myself to complete non-growth. But if the robot police, would you trust?
Shrinking?
Would you want robot police as opposed to human police? You have to choose between
again,
one of them.
You're just naming RoboCop.
Right. Do you want RoboCop? Is what I'm asking.
Does anybody? RoboCop.
A lot of people do.
I thought
that's a favorite movie of many people.
But I thought the theme of that movie that is even RoboCop didn't want RoboCop.
But then they built other RoboCops that
were fine with it.
They were really into it.
On a different political spectrum.
Yeah. The ones that look like half a horse was
Because it's like a guy roboticized,
Yeah,
right?
cyborg kind of
I've
thing.
never actually seen it.
I guess if you're half human, then you're just like pining for the days of when I was all flesh. The Terminator, I don't know what his...
I mean, again, this is
that was
all
like
a very
bioflesh.
humanistic lens that we're imagining what robots would feel like. Because those are always the stories are like, the robot wants to have real feelings, or the robot gets real feelings and disaster occurs, or humans are made into robots and then they feel like something is missing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think robots have feelings. I think they just get the job done.
What do you think Arnold Schwarzenegger's missing in life? A conscience?
I don't know. I was trying to think of a funny answer, like calcium, but he probably gets enough
Probably
calcium.
a lot of calcium.
He probably is very into nutrition.
He's probably all calcium.
Does he have kids? Oh, I guess he
got, like, lots of
famously
kids.
has kids that.
He has kids he doesn't even know about.
Yeah.
They were all made of calcium.
No, when they break their bones, they're just like, go rub some daddy on you. It'll heal that bone. Come here. I don't know what this gesture is. I don't know how to make
I'm looking away. I don't want to know.
A clean joke.
So then what about the robot workforce? What about just forget about taking the cops' jobs away? They're taking your job away. A robot teacher.
Well, this is where... Let's get serious. It's only a problem in capitalism if robots take all the jobs. Like the 1950s vision of the kitchen of the future is so that you don't have to do jobs, because doing jobs is not a condition of humanity. Doing things that are fulfilling to you is good for your mental health and well-being, but creating wealth for somebody else, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little activist here, not funny, but creating wealth for somebody else is not a moral virtue.
I like those self-checkout machines. Makes me feel like I'm in charge. I forage for my own groceries, and now I have the power to determine their cost. I mean, people moan about job loss, but what kind of fulfillment is that if we artificially hold back machines so that a person can keep drudging away at a minimum wage job? You don't have anything to say about that?
Again, I'm here to know what you think.
Does that make me anti-capitalist? I don't know. But the robots are coming. I do know that. You're scared of the robots, aren't you? I mean, all this paranoia about AI. Here's what I don't get. For me, it's a good thing when I get recognized. Here in China, when people see who I am, they're like, they want to take me out to dinner, give me stuff. So what's so bad about facial recognition technology? I like getting my picture taken. I've got nothing to hide. Sure, surveillance has its drawbacks, but it holds people accountable. We have a safer society because of it. What if the police are trying to find me to give me a community award?
What? Bagging your own groceries?
I knew I'd get you.
So is this all nonsense?
I really do like getting my picture taken. Well, none of this is funny. This is pretty serious. If the kitchen is making toast for you, but you want to make toast,
Well then,
is that a rebellion?
I mean, is it compulsory that you have to install machines to do everything for you?
If you're a college kid at MIT, yes.
I had not heard about that entrance requirement. You must never make toast yourself again. Also, what's the non-mechanical way to make toast?
Fire, I guess. You can make it on a hot pot.
I guess. You
Put those little skillets over the top.
You could install like a go-go gadget finger lighter.
Robots in hot pots. There's another thing.
Oh, we went to one once.
Yeah, they're all over the place now, but
and it required like 5 humans to function every one robot server.
essentially, they sound so exciting. You like watch them on YouTube or whatever, and you're like, "That's fat." They look great. They're shiny.
Yeah.
They got eyes that go bloop 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 like a Cylon Raider, but cute because they
Well,
they have
look
eyebrows
like,
and stuff. But all it is a serving tray on a track.
Yeah, and yeah, so someone has to load up the serving tray.
Because their arms are only do this.
Yeah, and someone then like has to kind of shove it in the right direction, and then when they get to your table, a person has to take them off. So yeah, I don't think robot servers are gonna take any. They're creating jobs, which, as we know, is the most moral thing you can do.
Well, the thing about the tea robots is that it's like a 4-year-old robot. Do you have something you want to talk about robots?
So it can tie its own shoes. I think that would also make more rabbits more palatable. Robots more palatable, is if they developed at the same rate that humans did. I mean, that's much less cost effective, negating the entire need for robots. But like, if a 4-year-old robot was like, here, I brought you some tea. Put it down on the table.
That sounds like a Robin Williams movie.
Oh, now I'm depressed.
We could bring him back as some kind of AI.
That would be suitably depressing. I'm sure he would be so upset by that.
Really? He played robots all the time, didn't he?
Nobody wants to be a zombie AI.
Don't speak for Robin Williams. I think he would love it.
Maybe he would. He seemed like more sensitive than that.
He was a genie.
Because I knew him so well. I guess he did keep choosing projects that addressed the humanity of robots.
He was fascinated by
That's what he was known for, Robin Williams.
Robot Williams.
The humanity of robots. Well, Mork for Mork, if we're getting back into confusing aliens and robots.
What is the difference?
Are robots just aliens?
Yes.
Solved it.
Would you prefer tea from a robot?
I mean, it depends what kind of tea does it serve.
We lived in Lijiang, in a beautiful place where
robots are made.
That's where we went to the robot.
That's true. That they had the robot hot pot.
Yeah. No, we're
robot
famous
hot pot is the best.
For poor tea, would you rather have an old nashi wizened person give you, or a robot?
There does seem something wrong with like approaching this traditional tea ceremony with a robot, or is it like oh so right?
Because it sounds that now we're starting to get to like a, I don't know. Well, Avatar didn't really have robots, but some kind of manga anime story, right? Where a wizened elder serves tea with the help of his cute robot friend.
What are you talking about? The Last Airbender or the Blue People? Uh-oh. Peter needs to be rebooted. Is that a noodles to you?